tonight, but you been playing. I need you to come do what you been saying. I wanna put you on the thing.
How everybody doing? Thanks for tapping in with us. I got a couple friends that just checked in into California. You know, we've been talking about getting together for quite some time now. Just sit back, talk about basketball, talk about the culture, talk about the pros and cons of what's going on currently in the basketball universe. So I'm gonna just start with everyone introducing themselves, share a little background, and we're just gonna blast out from there.
I started out Dion Lee here, Louisville, Kentucky, Ballard High School graduate, 91, Northwestern University. Played overseas for a few years, been in this training business since about 2005. Had opportunity to work with some pros, play with some pros.
Mark Williams, Team Footprints. Similar story, but I graduated in 88 though, from high school, 92 from college, University of Vermont. Been in the training game for maybe like 10 years now. Worked with some pros. Luckily, I play a lot of players that are going on professional, but more importantly, people that are going to college and play basketball on a collegiate level, and hopefully better their careers athletically as well as more importantly as a person.
Mark Edwards, Brooklyn, New York, Canarsie High School, graduate 1987. Been at this for 27 years. It's ridiculous. Started the And One mixtape tour back in the days. I helped do all the marketing, promotions, had my own tour called the Killer Crossover Tour, did a bunch of movies, commercials, video games from 2K1 all the way to 2K9. So I've been at this for a minute. I used to keep a count, but I think I'm right at about close to 400 kids in scholarships. Work with like 40 different pros. Just recently had Jalen Green, number 2 pick in the draft. Did his pre-draft out here in LA, and I've since then moved to LA. So I'm starting a new, chapter in my life, getting back into the television space, movies, commercials, whatever, and still doing a lot of lead training, working with Donda Academy and Southern California Academy. So it's been an adventure. It's been great.
Olin Simplest, like Mark, I've been in this 25 years. My vision started my senior in high school. I was a 16-year-old senior. I'm only played two years high school basketball out here in California. Walked off the bench in the biggest game of my career, verbally committed, and coach that was there was watching me. Me and my head coach got into it, walked off the bench, sat in the stands, everybody turned their back on me. So at that point, I knew I wanted to get into mentoring, youth, allowing, once you get that opportunity, close your fists. And so at that moment, I was like, at some point, the ball stopped bouncing me early because I had a kid, my freshman year in JC. And at that point, it's just all about getting into coaching, mentoring. I've had the honor of working with, plethora of pros, high school kids, college kids. This past year, had a really good draft class as well at the number 3 and number 5 pick. And just enjoy doing what I'm doing on the mentoring side, and developing the person off the court more so than on the court. And this is why I do what I do, and I'm just honored to be in this room with you gents. And let's just get straight to it.
Right to it.
Yep. So we started the group chat. Mark, you should probably jump in because you actually started the group chat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it started on Twitter. I wanted to start connecting some of the guys that I've been dealing with for years from around the country. And it's crazy. I've always watched Olin online on Twitter doing this thing. And one day I don't know how long ago that was. I was in Roscoe's. I saw Olin. I ran up on, yo, you Olin. Come on. What's good? Let's connect. You know what I'm saying? Because when you're in this space, doing this thing of ours, is what we call it. We're all family. So it just made sense for me to, walk up on them and just introduce myself. And we here now. So, this is just amazing. When you think about it, just sitting here right here, we had the number 2, 3, and 5 picks in the NBA draft as far as doing their pre-draft. You know what I'm saying? And Dion had a pick a year before. What number your guy went? He was still like a lottery pick or whatever.
It's 2 years ago.
2 years
Well,
ago.
14.
Yeah, 14. So I mean, that's right in that area. You know what I'm saying? So Mark is always dealing with. He had Hamadou. You had a bunch of guys as far as draft picks.
Moses probably the one that's doing well now. Brown.
Yeah. I mean, we're constantly touching people. So us coming together and just talking about our experiences.
It's crazy how you brought that up. It's how I met O through the internet. And I was out here, had my daughter out here, seen him. Somebody told me who it was. I was like, man, I follow dude online. Let me go. So, and ever since then, we started chopping it up. Rent didn't even know about Moses. Seen Moses at Sports Academy doing his pre-J. Didn't even know. So it's how these dots, start
basketball
connecting.
world is a small world, man. Especially on that elite level.
It's very small because I didn't know you worked with Moses till recently. And Chris Wilkes, when he was at UCLA, he would bring Moses to work out with him. And so I was working with Moses a little bit, then Hami. And then we have, same thing with Hami. But, yeah, man, this training thing, is something that we take serious, and that's why we're here. Actually, these two guys flew in, in town this weekend just to get this done. I had my son's birthday party, this afternoon, rushed over here. So, man, let's just get into some of the topics that we always talk about. I know we're gonna be all over the place, but first and foremost, man, how do you guys feel about where the training is going today? Like, that's been the biggest thing, right?
I'll start off with that.
Go ahead.
I'll start. I'm gonna be the nice one in the group because I know that Dion, you should go next because he's gonna bring the hammer.
For sure.
I think as an old guy, and I'm gonna call this the OG section right now because all of us have gray hairs except for Mark. We've seen nice players, and there are some good players out there now.
Right.
But you would think that with as much training that's going on in the country and the world, that there would be a lot more players that are equally nice to the era that we've seen players come in. And I know that Dion and I speaking earlier, there aren't. Basketball is not in a good place overall, my perspective, as it once was, only because there's saturation and things that people are doing aren't necessarily benefiting the players in the game, but it's helping their gram and their Twitters.
Right.
And I think that's where we are right now, where you look at some of the drills that's being done, and they really aren't connecting to what's really going on in the real world, and that seems to be running pervasive in the training space. And I could be wrong, and you guys can obviously, and people in the audience can check it. But I think that's one of the biggest things within the training space. And then those people that have the platform to really explode are really doing it and then not taking advantage of making players better as opposed to just making them more popular. And
No, I agree, man. A lot of guys, and I've said this in many interviews and podcasts, training for the like button and not for the substance button. Because obviously if we put something, 2-dribble pull-up, nail, hit the
sexy.
nail, it's not sexy.
It's not sexy.
It's the guy that's going to do a certain amount of combo dribble, combo moves, combo this. And, those are the ones that are getting the like button and getting the exposure via online, social media, and so forth. But,
what's sexy? A check.
Yeah.
They're giving checks away for 1 dribble, 2 dribble, pull up, get to the nail, get to your spot and make a shot. That's pro shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
but they're giving a check for those people that are getting those likes also.
Yeah,
YouTube
but
is
that's
running up the
only-
numbers on different people getting money for that.
so platforms are taking it. Platforms are making money. Ballers Life is taking advantage of it. Now they're showing open guys going from park to park playing ball, and they're getting money on that. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of guys, like, how many kids are really making a check from this? Mikey Williams is the only one I know making a check. Bronny making a check. Everybody else, LaMelo's in the league now. Who else is getting money on this? Who else has got a big following that's really taking advantage of this like button?
Right. I wouldn't really referring to the player that's getting the like button. I'm referring to the trainer, me putting through players to get like, and not really saying, you know what, let me train this guy on the basics, the substance, the stuff that actually is going to translate, because that doesn't, as a trainer, give me the love and vibe that other guys are getting. So it goes back to how he started. His point is that, we have a lot of guys that's out here training. He don't think the game is going the way it should be. But basketball is funny. Basketball, I say this all the time, is the one profession, if we want to call it a profession, where everyone wants to be a part of it that's not have a basketball background. You know, it's crazy. It's like I tell some of my parents that are dentists and lawyers, I don't come in your office to tell you how to run your business.
Right.
What makes you think it's okay for you to be on the sideline telling me how to coach your kids?
Right.
It's the one area where
'Cause
everyone feels
they
they're an
watch
expert.
games.
Yeah, the expert.
They
They're
watch
an
the
expert.
games, so
And-
they think they know because they watch the games.
Right. And then they don't find out till it's too late.
Yeah.
You know,
And
and
it's, especially what you was talking about with the training
Right.
with the younger kids, they're bypassing the steps. They're trying to teach them at an early age to be a pro without teaching them how to be a high school student. You know, and I was kind of guilty of it for a while. Then I said, "Oh, let me break this down." When you're in elementary, I'm preparing you for middle school. When you're in middle school, I'm preparing you for high school.
Right.
When you get in high school, I start preparing you for college.
Right.
By the time you get to college, now we're on that path, and I've been lucky enough to have 2 one and dones that they weren't in college that long, but they were prepared to hit the floor running. And not everybody has that luxury. You know, they had the tools, but we built those tools from 5th and 4th grade, and they stood the test of going through every process.
Yeah.
So-
Right.
No, I was saying I kind of do it the same way as far as skill development, and I had to constantly change with the times. So now, the youngest kids, you guys are going to learn how to do pick and roll. You're going to learn how to really use that pick. You're going to learn how to talk and set that pick up correctly. You know what I'm saying? Have him turn slightly. You know, tell the defender, I'm about to run you into this pick. And if he's stupid enough to try to, jump it, you can slide back the other way. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of little movements you can do that you can tell the defender you're going to do, and he can't stop you. So I want to teach you guys how to be professionals now. I don't care if you don't get the likes and all that stuff early. You know what I'm saying? Because how many kids do we know that have been, and it's funny because they're ranking kids now in the 5th grade, 6th grade.
I just
second and third
I
grade.
just said that. I just sent that in our group text today. That
Yeah.
some organization,
Third grader?
is going
Ranking
they're
8,
gonna
9-year-olds.
Start ranking 8, 9-year-olds.
8, 9
But that's the thing. That's a
It's
money-making
crazy.
thing. And
It's a money grab.
Right.
parents, they look at it like, oh, I want my kid involved in that, not realizing that you're killing your kid
Right.
from a basketball standpoint. Because here's the thing. If you have a kid that's 10 years old, he's dropping 30 points a game every tournament.
Right.
Most of the time, he's shooting from here.
Right.
And if at 11 years old, he's shooting from here.
Right.
Because he's killing. 12 years old, he's shooting from here.
Right.
13, he's raising up a little bit, but he's still shooting from here.
Right.
Now you get to high school and you're playing on elite level stages.
Right.
Kids are longer, stronger, more athletic. You know what I'm saying? You can't shoot from here.
Right.
Now those kids are burning out. Now those kids who didn't have to have a left hand, they're forcing them left.
Right.
They know how to force left and keep them left. So you have to develop these kids fundamentally correctly from an early age and have them grow. And the foundation is the most important thing, because
Most
how
important.
you teaching a kid how to do an in and out cross when they don't even know how to do an in and out movement first. They don't understand in and out step, in and out step cross. How far away from the defender do I need to be before I make that move? I can't make that. If I'm more than arm distance away from that defender,
Right.
I can make that move. But if I'm close within that range,
too late.
It's too
Yeah,
because
too
he can
late.
read it. I need to be able to make that move.
And counter it.
Yeah, I see his reaction. Now I can make the move. If I'm too close, I can't see it.
Even like you talking about setting it up with that plant,
Yeah.
planting
Outside,
that
yeah.
foot and selling it, and the hips and the shoulders and,
And
the
the
head,
eyes.
all of that,
All of that.
all of that goes into
But it's
it.
not called in and out no more. That's another topic. It's called inverted drag step, spin move,
Hip toss. Inverted hip toss.
I'm like,
Yeah.
yo, what are we talking about? Anyway, but no, go ahead. I didn't mean
Hold
to
on,
interrupt.
no,
That's just another topic in itself.
You gonna
that-
throw me under there?
No, I'm not gonna throw you. I'm gonna actually throw myself. We would like to thank Michael Lancaster for for leading that charge. I know we're not gonna name names, but some things can't be changed, but lexicons are changing on a daily basis, and it's really adversely affecting and confusing players as a whole. Inverted means opposite, so I don't know what some of that stuff means.
That's goofy.
I heard a floater dribble. I call it a
Floater
hang dribble, where you.
Oh, okay, hang.
Yeah, but I seen it called floaters. I'm like, what?
Do they take a lot of steps in between and say that's a gather dribble?
Man,
Just a different name.
you know, what I mean, we can. That's what's good about this, and I hope to all the people out there that's tuning in. It's our first one. I'm upset that we didn't get enough energy out there before, but we had guys flying in. There's other commitments, but that's why we're doing it. Just an introduction, and basically, I think Mark called it a Dion. I don't know who threw the name. Getting our culture back, right? That was one of the names you're throwing out there. But for me to piggyback on what you guys said, I actually train the same way you guys train, but I start at the top, then work my way down. Why I do that is I have to let people know there's only 450 guys that play at the highest level. So when we're talking about the 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12-year-olds, I said there's only 450. You want to get to that point, we can't skip the steps. But I educate the top.
Right.
Because, we have kids that, man, they want to do the Steph Curry drill. But Steph Curry wasn't doing that at your age.
Right, at all.
So you want to train and be one of the top 5. Only 5 guys are ball dominant like that. So I try to educate and let them know, even with the pro guys, you got to be confident enough. Like, there's a lot of guys that's training dudes out of money.
And that's another thing
Out
that
of money.
we dealing with is what we teaching the right way. A lot of those guys are talking down on it.
Right.
And it's like we building efficiency.
Right.
They're building all the extra.
Right. And we make it so easy. I've learned lately, I was talking to one of my guys that why we don't get the love. I keep hearing that. I'm past that energy. Like when we first started this group, that energy was real thick and heavy. And I had to, I don't know if I took a back on some of the Twitter, because it's like, it's facts, right? Like, we're speaking facts. When we throw that in the universe, it actually affects our psyche. But why do these guys get the energy? Because we're masters, right? We're masters. We make it so easy that even the player that we're working with don't realize how much we are helping them. They're going to give the other guy the love because he's working so hard to make his game go backwards that he actually think he's helping them. Like, we'll get a guy, like 30 minutes, we can see something wrong, make a small adjustment, probably don't sweat that much. And we've actually helped your game, and we don't get the love. It's the one that's out there doing the 30 dribble moves, the inverted behind the back spin move, going under tables and between chairs and flipping over cones and mats. And it's crazy how they get the love.
I hate that shit.
How they get the love.
I hate that shit.
Our players don't respect us.
I despise people. I'm sorry. I despise those guys. I despise Michael Lancaster. I despise Chris Brickley. I despise them because I feel like they're culture vultures. I feel like, until you could develop a kid from scratch and build them up and take them to that next level, then you're not a trainer. And I say that by anybody. If you're not developing guys from scratch and building them, you know what I'm saying, and being part of a positive journey for them, then you're hurting those kids. Like, you getting them online, they look good. Like, I saw Micah destroy 2 kids who were McDonald's All-American kids. Neither one of them I don't know where one of them is, but the other one's still in school or whatever. But neither here nor there. Those are 2 amazing kids. And when I first saw them, I'm like, whoa, those kids are special. Then I saw who they were working with, and I told everybody that would listen, it's not gonna work. What he's doing is hurting them. Because at the next level, it's about shooting that basketball.
Right.
It's about the
You
footwork
do know
necessary.
telling the truth is the new hate.
No. I'm a hater.
But you're telling the truth.
No, I'm a hater. I guess what? I'm allowed. I don't have to like you. We can still be in the same space.
Yeah.
I don't. You know what? It's not like, I'm not gonna say I dislike Michael Lancaster and Chris Brick. I dislike what they do. You know what I'm saying? And that's me being real. Like, I don't dislike them as people.
Do you view them as opportunists?
Huh?
Opportunists?
No, I think that they really think that they are helping people. I really think that they feel like they're making a great living doing what they're doing, but they don't really understand that this for us is life.
Right.
This is air. This is what we do every day.
Right.
I'm 52. Me and Mark, a drug mark today on the hill. We running hills. We getting in shape. Everything we do is basketball related. So this is life for us. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what it is for them. This is a camera. This is a camera crew. This is whatever. This is their income, whatever it is. This is life. This is the air we breathe. So it's different if I'm taking time out of my day to critique what you're doing, which doesn't affect me, but it affects the culture. Because now you have so many kids playing the wrong way that when you run up against one of my kids and he's dusting you off, you wonder why.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I've had NBA coach. I mean, you did the same thing. We did pre-draft. We had coaching staffs and whole front offices come into our workouts and pre-drafts, and Guy told me, man, thank you. I was like, why? He said, this is one of the first guys we've had do a pre-draft workout full speed.
I get that every year. In the past 4 years, I've had lottery picks every year.
Yeah.
And so it's funny when they say that, and from reputable guys.
Yeah.
It's like, wow. Like, thank you.
Yeah.
Like, and it actually helped our guys stop.
That's right.
You know, it's like, and you know, like a couple of guys went, it was supposed to be 13, 14, 15, go 3, 4. Like, how'd that happen? Well, the workout in front of the people, we went game speed. It wasn't, you know what I mean, full, but.
And we watch those workouts online, and we're all disgusted. And we say, if you're an NBA executive, how can you look at that? You have to literally go back to their game tape and really evaluate if this kid is going to be worth your time.
So I want to pose a question to you, because you've actually been one of the most vocal guys in the group about this. And I've changed my viewpoint. Let me get to it more. We grew up on that saying, do you hate the player or do you hate the game? Right? So if someone is making money and they're living a certain level lifestyle, I'm not mad at that person anymore. Because we're in the dungeon grinding and scrape. I wouldn't say we're scraping for peanuts. We're actually doing well, but it's taking us the years. We got gray hairs.
All of us.
We got dudes 25 years old that don't look like us that's eating off the garbage, right? But can we be mad at that kid, or are we mad at the player? Because they're going and putting those guys in the game as opposed to putting us in the game. So back to the two names you named, they are making a great living. They are doing certain things that we tend to question. But in order for them to do it, the players got to pay them.
Right.
Got to hire them. And those aren't the guys that go back to what you said, that was in the dungeon with you from 10, 11, 12,
But
13,
it's the
14,
player
15, 16 years old.
And the parent. It's twofold.
Well, the parent would be more for the youngers. When they become pros, they're writing the check.
Yeah, but a lot of them are still, well, the agent, as you said, is one, and it's the parents' influence also too, because they still want to be along for that ride as long as they can be, because they'll be damned if they let them grow up.
But I'm just different.
I would say the player don't.
I'm just different, because if I have a kid who I'm projecting as, if he continues down this path, he's going to be an NBA player, I'm going to have a real conversation with the parent. I'm like, listen, man, you're going to pay me now for my services, or I'm not working with you.
Right.
Because there's no guarantee that you're going to pick me up during pre-draft.
Right.
And there's no guarantee you're going to pick me up when he gets drafted. Right. Most trainers don't get picked up after pre-draft and work out with those kids on a monthly basis or whatever. They don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Why would you do that?
So why is the mindset, you are good enough to get me here, but you're not good enough to keep me here?
Because
that's what I feel like.
Because that's our people. That's been our history. Our history is, we don't even study our own history. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us don't even haven't taken Black history classes to understand what we've gone through in the past. So if we don't know what we've gone through in the past, we don't see those obstacles in the future. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is this, and you just said it, we're good enough to get you there, but then when you get there, I need this guy here. You know what I'm saying? Of a different hue. You know what I'm saying? To take me to a different level. Why? Because his vocabulary is different than ours. No, this is a dog-eat-dog world. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to cuss at you. I'm not going to cuss at you and you know, I'm not trying to hurt your feelings. I'm not trying to take down your self-esteem. I'm trying to build you up. I'm trying to give you that energy. So for us, that energy is what help get those players over. Our study of the game, I study more film. If there's somebody that studies more film than me, great. Because I'll be up till 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning sometimes looking at synergy, looking at game fields. I can't watch. It's hard for me to watch games live because I want to see how that guy got open.
Right.
I want to see the footwork. I want to see how he started that movement. I want to see all the options he had in that. And I break down film. Like, how many guys actually look at Kobe Bryant's, jewel that he left, on ESPN?
Right.
Details.
It's amazing.
Right.
And it's amazing because I can look at it and I can do the same reads Kobe does.
Even with what you just said, with breaking down film, I break down film with some of my college guys and some pro guys, and they say they don't even break down film like that with their team.
I was
even how in depth it, because when I'm watching film with one of my players, say we're watching film and we're coming up the court, I freeze frame it every 2 seconds, and I will ask you, tell me what you see now. Before we even get into, tell me what you see, and then it starts making out. Same night to tell D'Angelo, see the game 2 to 3 seconds ahead.
D'Angelo, who you got to go ahead and give us some context.
D'Angelo Russell.
So just there's a story behind the D'Angelo Russell thing, you know, and how he and I met. So I was at NBA camp, and there was some guys there, and they were hating on D'Angelo. They was like, he's not a point guard. He thinks he's a point guard, and I'm just like, that boy good. I don't know what y'all watching.
Really
No, that's my hashtag. That boy good.
Right.
You know, so I'm like, I don't know what y'all talking about. And I went on Twitter and I was just like, they hating. This boy is nice. He's this, he's that. Not knowing that D'Angelo saw it, you saw it, people saw it. And then I think we got to Adidas Nations that July, August. And he introduced himself to me. D'Angelo came over me, introduced to his dad. Like, yo, this is dad. This is a guy that was defending me on Twitter, so and whatever. And, you know, we went from there. But like this is a guy helped D'Angelo Russell, trained D'Angelo Russell in high school and so forth. I mean, was one of his OG guys, you know, and they're back together working and so forth. But I think sometimes, to your point, these kids need to actually get wisdom. And the only way you get wisdom in this game is you go through it. And for us, it's about keeping those relationships sound. You know what I'm saying? Like, understand that we're promised nothing.
Right.
So if they're like, you gotta pay me something for my time. Gas money. You know what I'm saying?
Something.
You gotta give me something. Because if you don't give me something, then you might just miss a workout and I'm sitting in the gym waiting for you like an idiot.
Yeah.
And I got a family. I got I ain't got a wife no more. I got girls. I got kids. I got, you know what I'm saying? I got whatever.
It's just a level of gratitude.
Yes.
It's
Like, you
more
want to
than
hold
But
anything.
it goes back to what you said something earlier. They're not guaranteed to stay with you.
Yeah.
So I've also taken a different side point with that as well, where I don't even try to train top young kids anymore. Give me the ones that's going to respect my time, going to value me, going to pay me, and make sure my assistant is getting paid. And I'm also blessed because I've proven my value, you know, with the agency that I train for. So I know every summer they're going to have a load of kids. One thing I do respect about them, let's throw that out there, is that whoever's in these guys' circle, they bring. They don't eliminate. They don't, you know. So, but for the most part, a lot of these kids growing up anyway don't have that one main guy. Very few of us have raised a guy that's just been with us
The whole way?
You got people that's trying to latch on, and the kid trained with
Right.
20 different dudes, and you're that guy. I think that's where it gets misconstrued, because I know a lot of these guys that do make it have trained with multiple trainers. There's only a few that I actually was with this kid all the way, me and me only. So I'm past the point, because that was another topic I threw in there, because I know we've been talking about it lately, and I've seen it a lot where, man, we get eliminated. Me personally, I don't even go after them no more. California is also a little different than other states. You know what I mean? Like, it's very territorial. You'll have AAU coaches, because AAU coaches now have relationships with certain schools and agencies. It's not, so if they feel threatened, don't work with this guy. And I've actually helped a few kids. So give me the kid that can't spell basketball. That's going to come to the gym, gonna respect my time,
and work his ass
and
off,
work
right.
hard. And that's it. Like, people ask me now, like, I'm coaching I'm helping out at 2 high schools. I'm doing Sierra Canyon girls, helping out, and I'm doing Oakwood boys. Oakwood boys is up and coming, like they're. And I was at a game. A couple was like, "Yo, why are you?" I said, "Because 8 months out of the year, y'all flying, see players here and there, but I have nothing to do. Why aren't you at one of these?" I'm not trying to deal with this pony show. Give me these kids that want to work hard and they going to respect my time. If they become a client, I know that I can buy my kids some diapers and take my wife to dinner that Friday. I'm not, because I've had kids that's been in my gym with me, that I've raised, that I've given shoes, that I've taken care of. They walk right by me right now and go to the other court, train with somebody else, and act like I don't even exist. So it's like, it still bothers me. You know, because we're passionate. But
Shit, it's gonna bother you because you're human.
You're
human.
I'm past that.
That's kind of even what I'm going through personally at this moment. I'm on the fence of, am I staying in this,
right,
or am I done?
Right.
And I told you one of the things that I was gonna do. I was definitely coming out here to be a part of this, but I'm doing some soul searching. One, lack of gratitude, appreciation, and then the talent level is just so bad now. Also, back home and there are a plethora of new trainers that it ain't the Deion Lee way. They
Right.
tell them everything they want to hear.
Yeah.
I tell you everything you need to hear.
There's a big
You know,
difference.
difference.
I had one of those lines like Pac say, "You trying to tell me I ain't shit? I tell your mama you ain't shit." That's just where I'm at, and a lot of kids and parents don't want to hear that.
I had a trainer, and you may know him. I don't want to say names because one thing I don't is ever want a kid that's 2, 3, 4, 12 different sides of a story. But a young trainer hit me up yesterday. I know has been involved with a kid for the past 7 years, past 3 years. This kid is one of the top sophomores in the country. Recently, the kid just left him. He said some things were said that was misconstrued, but just left him. Called me yesterday with the same thing, like, man, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. I was there a few years ago when I lost my company. And I just got back to why I did this in the first place. A young 16-year-old Olin that wasn't a nationally known figure. I was a kid from Belize that just killed everybody in front of me. And that's how I got recruited to the level I got. Westchester, Fairfax, Crenshaw, Manning was my league. They catching 28, 12, and 6 every night. So they come to see that dude, now they see me. So I got it for that kid. So I have to remind myself that I got it for the mentor. I didn't get it to train pros. Like everyone asks me till this day, how do you train pros? How do you get train pros? Man, I've been doing this shit for 25 years, but that wasn't the goal.
Right.
The goal was to mentor the young Olin that didn't have that father figure, that AAU coaching. Obviously, it evolved into a good business. And now it's like getting back to, man, kids are going to value me. That I'm kind of like starting over again. I have a 1-year-old, but my wife has an 8-year-old. And he's starting to like basketball. His dad played at a high level. So it's there. So during COVID, he was going with me to the gym. Never said nothing to him. Now he wants to go. So it's like, man, I'm back training 8, 9-year-olds. You know, and it's like, I can do that the rest of my life. It's still, the culture is something I'm still fight for. But man, I don't give a fuck about the 6'10", 6'9", 6'8", number one player in Cali. I don't even know who that is.
That's funny.
I don't even care. You know what I mean? Like, give me kids that want to work hard where I feel good about what I'm doing. And that's what you still need. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. And you're still going to, just because we're good at what we do, we're still going to get that occasional pro, occasional person, but just change, like he said. Now my business mind changed for that month. Oh, you coming? Oh, it costs this.
I need this. The price is
If you
different.
don't want to pay, it's funny. Like, I've done that with a couple kids, and they didn't show up. Like, okay. They start training with somebody else.
Yep. I switched my business model completely, and I know we speak about it often. I don't even care, like, the 6'10", this kid plays with this AAU team, knock yourself out, my man. I'm focused on the youngins and the young ladies. And they're very, extremely loyal to our program. Like, they listen to everything that we say, they all the way through, from the rooter to the tutor, to the point where now some people even call us handlers, and I can't stand that phrase. But it's just like the mentorship is just there, and we're just trying to help them as much as possible. Like, to the point where after they graduate from college, because, you know, WNBA is really, really, really hard for most, and overseas, they come back and they end up working for us. So that's the vicious, I ain't say vicious, that's the cycle, and now they start training with us and helping the next generation. So they've been through it. So the 6'10s and the kids that play that's going to the league, whatever. I'm not beat. Like,
Man, there's other ways to impact this game to the level we've talked about for years. We've talked camps, clinics, have our own certification. Like, me throwing a rock in the ocean is going to cause a land. We throw a rock together, it's going to cause a bigger splash. And that's the wave I'm on. And, like, in the girl side as well, like, man, they're so much more loyal. But
that's kind of where my daughter, you know, watching her, you know, kind of go through the growing pains that she had to go through this past year, coming out to the West Coast and realizing back home when everybody was running up and telling her, they coming, man, your daughter's good, man, my daughter's weak. I would say it. And she would be like, yeah, my daddy. And now she's out here with some of the best on a nationally ranked team. She struggled. And I felt that struggle, and it felt good to get in the gym with her, not just because she was my daughter, but to know that I could add some elements and some pieces, and it was appreciated. So
now, how old is she? Senior now?
She's a senior. Yeah, she said she's a senior.
Because I stopped training my son at 13 to 16. I stopped training.
I stopped training my son at 13, 14. My biggest regret, because, you know, like I should have not just trained my son coach at a high school and brought all the kids. I was send them elsewhere, making other people established. And no one's gonna love you like your kid.
That's our problem.
Yeah.
That's our problem as black men that have played the game, you know, at a certain level, at a certain skill set, is that we've seen kids whose parents pushed them and burnt them out.
Right.
But let's be clear: the parents who pushed them and burnt them out didn't play the game.
Right.
We played the game, and our biggest fault as men is that we could have done exactly what Michael Jackson's father did for him. Mm-hmm. We could have done exactly what Tiger Woods' father did for him.
Exactly.
We could have done, you know, the King Richard,
Right.
you know, Richard Williams, what he did for his daughters.
It's funny.
You know what I'm saying? Because, and we could have done what LeVar Ball did for his kids.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because we have that knowledge. You know what I'm saying? The thing about it is sometimes we think of, nah, I don't want my kid going through this. I want him to pick this passion or whatever. The problem is that the culture is different now. Mm-hmm. These kids, they don't have the bandwidth. You know what I'm saying? They don't have the ability to be able to listen to all these new rap songs that's out,
Right.
be able to binge watch all these TV shows, cartoons or whatever,
Right.
see all these movies, all these things that are on this phone.
Right.
And these phones are more powerful than the computers, entire computer systems that we dealt with as children.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So unless we say, okay, we're going to cut out this, this, and this, you're going to focus on this, you know what I'm saying? Like sometimes we fail our kids in that regard because if they're not focused on this basketball and their books to get them to those places, then what are they really focused on? Right. Or if they're not playing basketball at a high level, I'm going to put that money towards tutoring.
Right.
Because you're going to be an academic.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's got to be one thing or another, and we don't do that. We just want our kids to be happy and healthy, but the problem is sometimes we're not equipping them to master their realm. You know what I'm saying? Master, because we just want them to be happy because we see so much bullshit that goes on around the country. Kids getting shot. Right. We try to teach our kids, hey, that police pull you over, you better have your license and your registration in your hand. Don't talk back, put your hands, whatever, because we're afraid. We know how to handle them. Cop pull me over, I'm cussing you out. What you want, man? Here, take my license, roll my window up, just give me a ticket. I'm not trying to talk to you. I got a lawyer.
Right.
Call my lawyer, he's on FaceTime.
Right.
You see all this going on, right? All right, cool. Like, we know how to deal with that because of wisdom. We've gone through it.
But,
you know what I'm saying?
But let me go back. Let me rephrase. I stopped training him, but he was still training. And the reason for that is because I didn't want to end up in a he got game situation. I didn't want to be.
But the he got game situation took that kid to being a pro. Floyd Mayweather's father.
No. But it strained that relationship.
And here's the thing
You
about that.
I didn't want to be a strain because I didn't have the same. I didn't have that father figure for the most part. Outside of my grandfather, my father was there a little bit, but for the most part, I didn't want to break that up.
You know, this is such a great topic. I think I put that in the group chat because someone was talking about LeVar Ball. Mm-hmm. And someone posted, D. Rich or whatever this guy's name is, that, man, I'm giving him his flowers now, and all these dudes is, like, he's a first dad to ever do it. Mm. You know what I mean? And he's not. It's not even close. He was very controversial.
He was loud.
But when I grew up, it's funny you say that. Is that
confident.
Is when I went and Charles O'Bannon dad was there. For the O'Bannons. Toby Bailey and Moose Bailey dad was there. You know what I mean? Holidays dad. You know what I mean? Like Burt Harris, who went to USC, was a killer.
3 pros in the Holiday family.
Yeah.
NBA pros.
And the daughter would have been a pro too. She didn't have a concussion protocol situation. Right? Like, he wasn't the only dad. There was many dads in our neighborhood was around. That's why I carried my chip, and that's why when my coach said something to me my senior year, I only played my junior senior. It was like, he wasn't there with me, and I snapped at him. Like, it was bad. No one, like, I didn't have that, so I carried a chip. So it's like, I hate the how we perpetuate this thing that black fathers aren't involved.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I've been with my son since day one. You know, I stopped playing college. Well, I played college basketball just to get my degree, but I played Drew League probably 6 games because summers I'm working, weekend I'm working. Like, you know, so my basketball career stopped when I had him. I still played to just finish and get my degree. But there's this thing that fathers ain't around. Like he said, I should have done more. Like, because when I'm watching the King Rich, I'm like, I stopped with my son. And for when he gets to high school, I was like, I just want to be a dad. We still train a little bit, but just want to be a dad.
But
I could have still...
You know, he brought up a good point. You should have got like a high school team. Like you said, bring your people together.
That's kind of what I deal with my daughter. But mine was from a place of, I always say I'm a basketball junkie. Like, basketball is my crack. I'm addicted to it. And I felt anybody that you can train, you can coach, you can teach, and even with your kids, if that passion ain't genuine, I don't never think you're gonna maximize your best anyway.
But see, then he don't need a coach's daughter.
Right.
Like he said, he's changed with the times. I've changed with the times. I no longer compare kids to how we were because it's not the same. You know what I mean? I've learned. It took me some time. That's probably why I also didn't. I expect my son to be like me. Let's wake up. Let's go. Let's this. Let's that. Let's that.
But not so
let's
much
that,
a
let's
be
that.
like me,
Yeah.
but you also know when it comes to this basketball, if you ain't doing it because you love it, you ain't gonna never be the best.
But that's
that
what he's
you gonna
saying.
be.
His son may not have had that same dog, but like
But
he
not
did.
even having a dog that you have, you still gotta love the game. You have to love
You
it.
think the love is
Like
gone
what did
now?
we talk about earlier? When I was young, I ain't miss a big Monday or a Super Tuesday. The VCI tape was in there. I'm recording Syracuse and Georgetown. I'm recording Indiana and Iowa, Purdue and Michigan.
But
all that, you
let me
know,
interject.
because I'm go back and watch
That
it.
goes back to we also don't have TV.
He has a lot of stuff.
It looks real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I don't even want to watch sports. I didn't. But how do I know if I grew up in this generation with social media? I wouldn't be a little, so I've changed. So I just tell
That's
kids,
true.
man, you give me 2 hours. Yeah, you give me 2 hours.
It's
And we good.
I post on the Throwback Thursday, I post some of my high school clips. And I'm sitting there watching. I posted one the other day with Dwan Wheat myself. I put that together. And I'm watching myself, and I'm like,
He was nice.
I scored at all 3 levels. Shot the 3. Why? Because I was a big Ty Day fan. Right hand, left hand jump hook, Danny Manning. Pull up jump shot, Lancaster Gordon. Like I took something from everybody that I saw,
Okay,
and added those elements.
The name.
But understand this. So, the difference when we look at a King Richard, when we look at a Tiger Woods' father, Earl Woods, we look at these parents, the Floyd Mayweather, Floyd Mayweather's pops. They started when these kids were babies.
Yeah.
And they created a culture in the household that said, this is what we do. And it wasn't just, we're going to go and work out. You're going to watch me play.
Right.
Tiger Woods' daddy sat him in the little
Stroller or
little
whatever.
seat
No, that's how my son grew up.
and
too.
watch him hit golf balls to the point where he was 5 years old. He's on national television.
Marv Griffin on one of them
Marv
shows.
Griffin hitting golf balls on national television. So, to the fathers out there that played basketball, immerse your son, your children in basketball. Take them to the games.
Right.
Let them fall in love with it.
Right.
They'll come to you and say, I want to do that.
Right.
That's true.
After a while, because they're immersed in it. We were immersed in it because we had communities that played ball. Before Reaganomics, took all that money out of the parks departments and so forth, out of the community programs and so forth. PAL it was booming. The Boys Club was booming. We had Big Apple Games and just the New York programs.
Cabbage Patch,
We had
everything.
Big Apple Games. We had we had CYO. We had all
Way more
kind of
opportunities to play.
leagues. We had leagues. We had those leagues. We had park leagues. Little tournaments or whatever. So basketball was everywhere in New York City. I was a football player in middle school, but I played basketball. Everybody played basketball in New York City. But I was nice in football. I was 8th grade. I had 28 receiving touchdowns. Every school in the area was like, we want you to come here. We want you to come here. I was like, nah, I don't want to lift weights. I want to play basketball. Because if I'd walk by the basketball, the courts, we played in this place called parade grounds. Parade grounds. And there's a football field, soccer field, baseball field. So as you come out of the park, the basketball courts are there. So this is the 80s. So they playing Rakim. You hearing dun 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 dun. Everybody good. And the girls is going crazy. Dudes is crossing over and dunking. I'm like, I just scored 6 touchdowns.
And nobody was
Wasn't nobody over there. Wasn't nobody over watching.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I just had 20 tackles.
Nah, that's not man.
I just, you know what I'm saying? Nobody, so I'm like, I want to do that. You know what I'm saying? So I stopped my freshman year. I didn't even try out for the team. I knew I wasn't good enough. But I worked my butt off every day. I was in the Boys and Girls Club every day working on my game because I wanted that love. Because in these black families, you got to remember, in the 70s, our parents were working. 78, our parents were working. They got an opportunity to work, get good jobs, whatever. My parents was working. My father was working early in the morning. My mother was working late at night. Both of them made amazing money. You know, so I was a spoiled kid in Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? So I got opportunities, but that love was that love I wanted was from people, and you know that's what gave me the opportunity to make friends. Playing sports made me all my friends.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't make a lot of friends outside of sports.
You had in common with them.
You know what I'm saying? Like what we talking about?
What we
here?
talking
Let
about?
me go back to what Owen said regarding certification. Will there ever be a time when basketball could reach karate and have the same type of certification type of levels?
I'm hoping, because you gotta remember personal training, fitness, because that's how it started.
Right, so
I graduated.
NASM.
I graduated a Knies degree. Then I get NASM. But back in the day, you just go to the biggest dude in the gym. Then you start hurting people's backs, shoulders, and that. So they were able to get a governing body, and you have to get, not have to, but gyms required. But if you're training outside, you really don't need one.
Right.
But I do think basketball needs some level of certification for sure. But how?
They won't do it because no other sport does it.
No, they do.
No, baseball. There's no certified baseball trainers. There's no certified football trainers.
No,
There's
but there is
anything.
for karate.
Well,
That's
going
the only
back
sport
to what we
because that's
talked
a
about.
discipline. And like for me, I'm a second degree black belt. Like I understand. Like you have to have that. You know what I'm saying?
But there are certain people teaching it, it's certain people applying it,
But
they all have a
let me-
standard
but
to meet.
let me interject.
The yellow
Let me-
belt is the yellow belt, regardless if you're in California or you're in New York.
But to Mark, the reason I honestly feel those sports don't need it is because you don't have a point guard teaching pitching. You don't have a wrestler teaching jump shots.
Right.
Everyone in those sports
Came from that sport.
played that.
Right.
You don't have a quarterback coach that played golf.
You know what's weird?
You get what I'm saying?
No,
Basketball is the one area. So I think that's why I like fitness. You can't a buff guy that's shooting in his buttocks telling a woman how to train, and then she tears her labrum.
Right.
So things start happening. I just don't know how you do it
But
because
you have
it's
high school
so.
coaches that do it. You have a lot of high school coaches
Do
who
what?
didn't play basketball.
Oh,
and
basketball
coach high
is
school.
full of that.
But you have a lot. Hold on. There's a trainer that trains for the Charlotte Hornets. That was a college football player.
Basketball trainer,
but
he's
he was, you know why?
He plays for the. My fault.
Jay's
he
there.
trains.
Hernandez is there, right?
No. He's a trainer for the Charlotte Hornets, or I don't think he's there this year. I'm not sure, but he was a college football player.
So he knew somebody.
Exactly, but that's what I'm saying. Basketball is the only sport where you have guys who weren't excellent or professional in that sport come in and still train people. LeBron James' high school coach wasn't a basketball player.
Right.
You saw in the movie, he's like, he had to go and get books and read. How do I run these plays? How do I do that? It's one of the only sports where they allow people to do that. Because in hockey, you had to have some kind of
the
hockey
reason why they
acumen.
allow it, because in the history of it, there's been success by some without having a background.
Right.
Now, you don't have to have a background to be great at it. I respect those that's going to study and teach the game and say, yo, Mark, Mark, can I come up under you and learn? I've never, there are those.
How many people apprentice anymore? Right.
Well, here's the problem.
They don't want to be. Let's get to that.
But here's the thing.
Let's get to that.
You can train.
Let's get to that.
You can train, but the problem is, can you teach?
There's a field.
There's a difference between
field.
training a player as an individual player and teaching him how to fit inside of a team concept and know when and where how to utilize. Like with me, if I'm going through reading a screen, I am going to give you every possible outcome. I'm going to give you the curl. I'm going to give you the fade. I'm going to give you the flare. If he goes third man through, I'm going to show you how to run him through the screen, where a lot of people run off the screen, and if you set in the screen, they'll just run and they wonder why they don't get open. I'm supposed to come at your chest if you set in the screen for me and then come off of you. That way I guarantee you he's going to come out. They're not teaching that. They don't know how to break that down. And the only way you can break some of that stuff down is you had to have been there. You got to know what it means to trail the guy coming off the screen and get on a different track once you get around it. What's a different track? The inside lane, like a train track. You get on a different track. That's verbiage. They don't know that verbiage.
So you're saying those that read the book on how to do certain things may not be able to apply it because they haven't gone through it.
You say it's when I'm teaching, and breaking it down. I give you a verbal, a visual. I'm giving you both. So it's like a guy sitting over there coaching who ain't never had to block out, yelling at you to block out, who ain't never had to take a charge, yelling at you to take a charge.
But he's read
Did
it
you
in the
see
book.
how big? I ain't taking a charge on everybody.
I can tell you specifically going to a Duke Carolina game and going to one of my guys at Carolina. They about to play Zion. This is the game Zion bust out the shoe. I said, so y'all gonna take a charge on Zion today?
Hell no.
They was like, you crazy? I'm not taking no charge on him. You take a charge on him. I said, no, thank you.
Yeah, I want to fuck.
Like, how many people take the charge on LeBron James?
Right.
You know, you had J.J. Redick when Stephen A. Smith made the comment about people
Right.
people not fearing LeBron, and J.J.'s like, I took a charge on him one time. He did a spin move, and I caught it perfectly. He said I had 12 stitches after that. You know, like, no.
I'm taking a hard foul before I take a charge.
Yeah. I'm going to initiate contact, and I'm going to give you the pain. I'm not going to sit there and take that pain.
So regarding certification, can happen or can't happen?
USA Basketball tries to make that happen.
They
But
try.
That's for coaches,
They
though.
try.
That's for coaches.
I think for like
yeah,
to-
but
I
people,
think
but they're
if you
asking
join a-
people to do that. They're
Yeah.
asking like, you got a USA certification.
I think if you're coaching high school, if you're coaching college, if you're coaching youth sports, you should be forced to. If you're doing a private business, then it goes back to if I personally want a football coach to teach me how to shoot a jumper, that's me giving them money, then that's on me. But I think if, for the most part, like all these AU organizations, there's like a million of them now, and I think that's a big part of it.
I agree.
High school, you got the history teacher because the school doesn't have a coach teaching. I've had when I was coaching high
No,
school,
it's
one time,
not that
they
they
asked me to coach volleyball. I'm like, I don't know shit about volleyball. We don't have nobody. You're an
stipend.
athlete.
What?
Teach volleyball.
They
I
want
think you
somebody
give
in
a
the
good
school.
stipend.
Oh, that's what in Kentucky. Well,
did that.
Louisville,
I did it.
that's the thing. They want somebody in the school, so they're not gonna hire just a basketball coach because they want you in the school. They want you teaching a class, or they want you to be an asset. So I always use this term, and then people at home probably going, "Hey, you got teachers that are acting like coaches."
No, that's a fact.
And where my daughter is now, I told her now, you have a coach that is acting like a teacher during school hours because she really coaches the game of basketball. And I was like, it's a blessing. Most of the time, the coach in high school is just a supplemental income. That's all it is. It's just
But
extra
because
income.
that is an organization, I think you need to have certification. You should have anything that's an org should have a certification.
Here's the
I agree.
problem.
If I'm a personal trainer and a parent is willing to take a chance on me, okay.
But let's think about that too, Ho.
But the more people I think we have out there in the universe of certifications, now you start seeing the difference between motherfuckers that know what they're talking about and motherfuckers that
So if I go to train Dion and I say I have the Mark Edwards, I read the Mark Edwards curriculum. Does that qualify me to be a trainer for Dion?
Damn right.
You read it? Nah, I feel like you got to be able.
Because everyone has a curriculum now.
But you got a curriculum, but it's the same thing in school. You still have to be able to give a thesis, to do something. Like
you have to get a practice
what M. Grass say, the left hand layup test. You got to do something.
It's a practical. The same thing you do when you're a doctor, or you're a nurse. You learn all this information, but you have to actually go out there and, as what Olin was talking about,
they do 2 years.
apprentice.
They do 2 years of residency.
You have to be an apprentice, and people aren't willing to do that now. I've had kids come up onto me that wanted to apprentice. I've probably had one person go through it for at least a year and learn some stuff. And I had my man Shep. I'm not gonna say he apprenticed because he was coaching first, but throughout the 15 years we've known each other, like he's learned so much of the things that I've shown him in regards to training, to the point where now he's in Georgia and he's training Isaiah Kai, who's like a top 15 kid. I think he's the best point guard in the class 2023. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's special. You know what I'm saying? So he knows how to train that kid on certain movements, and we talk about it on a regular basis. He does his homework. He adds stuff to the conversation and to the development. You know what I'm saying? So he's leading that because all those years he just learned and learned and learned and added to it. So, but here's the thing. One thing.
Yeah.
With bodybuilding, weight training, trainers,
You're right. What you about to say?
there's a big problem. Is that a lot of them aren't sports specific. You know what I'm saying? So you can't train a football player the same way you train a basketball player.
Well, sports performance / strength is now becoming the new basketball training.
It is.
You gotta. They're changing the terminologies
It
as
is.
well.
They are.
They're doing stuff that's sexy for likes, and there's no foundation. And now you have guys that's going at, like I've had guys that, no injuries, have got athletic, they're grown athletically, lean, basketball movements, but I don't have the same verbiage as
Johnny of the Rock.
yeah, and they don't get the same results, but their presentation's a little different, and so I've noticed it's becoming in you as well. So it's like,
But how many other trainers, how many other trainers do what you and I do, which is can do speed, agility, strength, and do basketball skills? And that's something where the training business has to move into that. Because, I've been doing Vertimax for years. So in the last 11 years, I've had over 150 kids ready to over 40-inch vertical.
What are you saying? A one-stop shopping, like you guys are doing?
Well, yeah, a one-stop shop. Because for us, it's like you guys are really skilled guys. You know what I'm saying?
I can. I don't want to.
I'm with Mark. Like, there's not too many you can, and I'm not saying that it needs to happen because the way the basketball training and the sports performance stuff is going, we've been doing it a long time. So it's experience, feel. Like I don't even write practice
But they still
plans.
should. Like on my iPad, I have an app that I pay damn near $200 for. And it shows you every muscle in the body. Like it basically shows you a skeleton, and as you press the buttons, it starts adding fibers and muscles and tissue and so forth. And it shows what the proper movement should be. It tells you what this muscle is. Like you can point to that muscle. It tells you it breaks down what the movement should look like. Like learn about the body. Like if you're training someone, for instance, you guys do girls basketball. Girls tear their ACLs more than anybody at a ridiculous rate. Now let's think about that. They tear their ACLs because of the east-west movements, right? How many times we see tennis players tear their ACLs? It's a rarity. And their entire game is east-west mostly. East-west, east-west. Why? Because you look at their development in their quads. You look at how they stay, they engage their core, they sit down, and they're bouncing, they're moving, and they don't tear their ACLs. So they're being trained correctly because those tennis coaches understand that movement. Now you have a lot of basketball trainers. I knew a guy in Georgia. He had 4 girls tear their ACLs. 4. And one of them was an ex-client of mine. And I told them, listen, I know dude. He was the last man pick when we would play pickup ball back in the days. He's not a good player. He's a scrub. All right. He only reason he's training because he married somebody that, his wife, her daughter was a good player, and he started going to the gym with her. So now people are following him because they think, oh, he did her. Well, let him train us too. 4 girls in the span of 1 year tore their ACLs because he has them moving the wrong way. So if you're a trainer and you don't really understand movement or how I should engage, how low I should be, we see it all the time. Guys playing high, turn this way, their leg plants, the thigh moves.
Knee don't.
I would go on the
MCL,
record
ACL.
you guys are rare in that you guys can bring in both components. Because I'm strictly skills. I may do an occasional vertical.
You understand movement.
But I understand movement, but I focus on
I
basketball.
think having a level of foundation is important. I don't think having both is simply because the game is evolving so much. Is that even say if I was coming up as a basketball player, I'm just calling it a buck. Is that I would rather go to someone that's basketball
Go to somebody
and then go
else.
someone that
I would too.
that would go. Olin personally would. I offer it to both, and I don't feel the type way someone go elsewhere.
How many
As I
legit
did when I
speed
was
agility
younger.
guys do you see? And also
How many what? Say it again.
How many legit speed, agility, and explosion guys do we see out there that are basketball related outside of football?
No, I'm not disagreeing.
related?
I'm not
But
dis-
no, I'm not saying there's an issue,
Right.
but there is an issue because let's understand something. It's not the best ball players that make it. And I always say this, it's the best athletes that play basketball that make it. Playing basketball means I have all the skills. But being that elite athlete, I can play 82 games and I fly 41 times. I can play 21 NBA playoff games, which we all know are a lot more physical. You know what I'm saying? We can do 6 games in the summer league. Yeah. We can do a mini camp outside of training camp. And we can do training camp. Mm-hmm. And we can survive it. Your body has to be in a different level. So if your athletic ability isn't as good as your skill set, you know what I'm saying? So what Olin does helps a lot. And we get it. There's guys that go to guys that are strictly strength guys and movement guys. But even the movement stuff they do nowadays,
I'm not
bullshit.
Even what you said, Mark, how about this? If the top 20 guys in the league, how many of them played every game last year?
It's rare.
No.
Look at Joel Embiid. We talk about how he's never in shape.
But that's why I'm not disagreeing with you.
Yeah.
But it's why we started this. Mm-hmm. Basketball, there's shitty trainers. There's shitty performance trainers. That's all that is. So it's not saying that, well, you got to be both, right? I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying. It's just guys going to shitty performance trainers, like with the girls. Even college, like a lot of these jobs, as we know, is relationship based.
Right.
Like it's a fucking what's it called? Sorority or fraternity.
Oh, fraternity, yep.
You know, because I see the same dude that, like he said, hurts player ABC, just get hired by another coach. You just hurt player. You got fired at this school for that. But,
and you got a raise.
But you get picked up. Right. But back to the girls thing. That's why I'm so big on the girls thing now, is because I want to give them what the guys don't have. And to his thing, the reason they do tear their knees is they have baby making hips. They got wider hips, sharper Q angle on the knee. So if they don't strengthen the VMO and the glutes, and that, it's going to cause some issues. Yeah, damn sure so we do a lot of that, but I even do that with the guys. Because the guys have the same issue. Like, when I had my first draft class was with Shay and them. And we did mini band warm-ups. He's like, oh, man, my ass on fire. I did the thin one. That's just, I'm like, dude, you came from Kentucky. Like, that's not what y'all do.
Comes from.
Right.
They don't understand that your glutes have to fire.
Yeah. And he had like a 6 to 8 inch increase in just our pre-draft with no weight bearing. I don't believe in weight bearing. Like I'll do Vertimax with non-pros. Because pros is 82 games a year. They do enough high impact. There's other ways we can make them jump higher, get quicker without the high impact. High impact. It's too. Now, if you have someone that's taking some time off, I do Vertimax too, but I don't believe in the extra pounding on guys that's already playing too much. There's other ways to make guys explosive and what's it called, injury prevention.
For me, I've been blessed, to not just have mastered the Vertimax machine and being able to master like certain movements. They have the Raptor now, which is basically just your movement straight ahead. So I'll have guys we're just going to work on specific basketball movements with you. So if I do Vertimax with an NBA player, it's your warm-up squats, quick jumps.
I'm not saying what you do is wrong, because I do Vertimax.
No, I'm not saying wrong or right. I'm just saying, like, I'll do a lesser amount for them because they don't need that. Right. They already have that.
Right.
But on a consistent basis, if they're doing it, like my guy was the guy from who worked for the Denver Nuggets forever. I'm forgetting his name. I don't know why.
Oh, the little short
stocky one.
Yes. Steve
Hess. Yeah.
When I would watch his video, and he would always use Vertimax. Right. He would always use Vertimax. Right. He would do a lot of hills and incline stuff and so forth.
His energy was crazy too.
So I learned and watched and was like, okay, it's more about movement. So I might have their hands strapped and them holding a heavy ball and then working on whip or shot fake. Right. So their shot fake becomes faster. Right. So let's work on increasing the movement on that specific skill set.
Quick twitch.
Yes. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So and even the terminology is it's fast twitch muscle fibers. So then you get somebody on TV and say, "Oh, he's twitchy." Twitchy is not a word in regards to fast twitch. It's not twitchy is I have a twitch.
Right.
By definition. Well, fast twitch
is genetic also.
So you can build that though.
So do you?
Yeah, but not to the point where these guys are.
No, you can build that. No,
see, I'm with Mark.
You can build that.
You think you can build that?
Yeah. I was not an athlete. Look, I turned myself into an athlete.
Let me add to what you're saying. I don't think, and I could be totally wrong speaking this, but I believe it's like Mark. Those that have the genetic, like him, if I'm his kid, it'll be easier.
Yes.
But if you're such and such kid that's not, he's gonna have to work to get it. But I don't think there's a huge drop off. There's just a level of work with someone that's already genetically gifted.
Kyrie's gifted with his twitch.
Yeah.
He's gifted. The average person is not as gifted or given the lottery, the genetic lottery.
I put it to you like this. The reason I'm saying this, I had 3 kids. Parents were big
boned.
non-athletic. Like, were you athletic? No, heavy set. Worked with 3.5 months, windmilling, doing this. But it was a 4 to 5 day program as opposed to a 1 to 2 day program.
And that's what I was going to ask
It's a different.
you. In a
So they put the
7
time
day
in.
week, how many days?
Yeah,
They put the
it's
time
a
in.
7 weeks?
Yeah.
In a 7-day
4 days a week.
Yeah.
4 days a week?
Yeah.
4
So
days a week.
if I have a kid that, okay, damn, dad's 6'7", jumping in the roof, mom was a track star. It's
easier.
They
less
got it.
work. It's less work.
I don't have to give them as many reps, as many
It's
sets.
less work.
Wow.
But I don't look at a kid and say, yo, man, you're gonna tap out, because some people like to say, but it goes back to, once again, I just have my foundation and I still study and stay abreast with certain things, and this is changing as well in the performance game, and everyone is like changing their names, but our field study from all the years I've done it, I've had some of the most unathletic lumber kids turn into athletes. So you can't tell me like,
And then
but they worked.
But it's not. It's not even a racial thing anymore, because like people say, oh, I've had white parents, be like, okay, their assumption is that their white child is not going to be as athletic as that black child. You know what I'm saying? Because the assumption is that genetically they're going to be more superior. And I'm just like, no, it's about the work. Some kids are going to get it. They're going to get that gene. They're going to get that genetic gene. And they're going to have that ability off the rip. I can remember one year in my gym, and I would usually have 30 or 40 kids working out. And the 3 highest jumping kids in my gym, and I had high majors, were white. They're all white. And 40-inch vertical, one of them's a scout now, the other one's still playing in college, another one is in college still. I'm talking about, we'd have the little, at the end of the practice, the dunk-offs or whatever. These 3 white boys, and I termed the coin white boy bounce. Hashtag white boy bounce. You know what I'm saying? Just for those guys. And they would be like, yeah, because they be on the Vertimax every day. Every day they're in there. We in 4 days a week. Coach, I go on Vertimax. Let's go. And my Vertimax sessions, 12 to 15 minutes.
Right.
So if I'm telling you, you could do 12 to 15 minutes, 4 days a week, and you get a vertical increase. I had a girl, volleyball player, father Spanish, mother white. Increase her vertical 12 inches in 2 months. And the reason we know
to me,
that
that was just sitting in there, and you was able to bring it out.
he tapped it out. He tapped into it.
You maximized
That's exactly what
that's
I
what
did.
it was sitting in there.
Because
Right.
most people don't know how to jump. Most people don't understand that
Arms,
arm swing
yeah.
gets you 5 to 10% more on your jump. They don't understand how to sit down. Some
Tighten
people,
the core when you jump.
like I
all
see
that,
some
yeah.
people when they lift, when they do
Activate-
squats, and they'll go
activate those big
all
glutes.
the way down. I'm just like, you don't jump like that.
Right.
Like, why are you doing that? And then look how slow you're moving. So I have kids who are working with their high school coaches, and they're doing weightlifting. I'm just like, why are you going so deep on your squat? Don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Well, he said, because no. You got to be able to jump from here, not all the way down there and go all the way up there. And the movements need to be explosive. So here's the thing. There's fast twitch and there's slow twitch, okay? The normal person is going to go from slow twitch, which is a light jog, into a fast twitch motion. Elite athletes can automatically summon fast twitch movement. Boom! You know what I'm saying? So when you're teaching them how to jump, I'm teaching them how to jump like this. Pop, pop. But you have a lot of trainers who teach them to jump like this. So you see the difference that the examples that they're giving them, they're not getting the results. But it's an understanding of the movements. That's why only having that degree and me being a person that I destroyed my knee at 15. Broke off the head of the tibia, kneecap was up in my thigh, I had to pull it back down, 2 pins in my knee. 2 years later, had a 40-inch vertical. Why? 1,000 toe raises a day. I did leg extensions. I would tie the leg weights, all them leg weights, and a weight vest on my leg and do leg extensions all day long. I would run the stairs of my building, 7 stories up, 5 days a week. I would wake up in the middle of the night with Charlie horses, cramps, all kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? I taught myself how to jump again. You know what I'm saying? So I went through that. That was wisdom for me.
Okay, switching topics, and not to be the moderator.
I would rather somebody else be the moderator.
How do we get to the next level as far as prestige and notoriety, comparable to others?
Okay, so
No, I don't think you compare it to others.
No. Yeah, let's
Not that
stop.
we do.
Let's stop. That's one thing we have to stop doing. Is comparing our. Okay, compare yourself to others for motivational purposes, not to like, damn,
let me
how,
ask you
why,
this.
and how he getting it.
To add to
I just
that.
think that energy.
And this could be to all of us. Why do you do it?
I know my why. My why is to benefit and help the next generation of players.
Why do you do it?
I love the game of basketball. It saved my life, and fuck you, pay me.
Why?
It saved me. I didn't have a father in the house. My basketball was my father. Taught me life. Taught me how to fight. Taught me how to get back up when I get knocked down.
My genuine love of the game
Right.
to teach, and anybody that knows my history, I know what it feels like to lose it, to be with it and then have it taken away. So it goes back to your initial question. It's never going to be the same because they ain't in it for the same reason we are. And I was going to pose that in that for them, it's trying to be in a space that we're already in. To them, it's being in a space that we would be in even if we wasn't training. Because I'm still Deion Lee without training because I've played it, I've done it, I've had success. You had, even if it stopped with just your high school, based off of who you played against in high school, you was known for busting people's asses. You had a history. So we have something that they're chasing and to be a part of. And I think part of that is we have to be comfortable with who we are, is what we do and find our own niche of why we doing it and what we're doing it for.
So I totally agree, and that's why I've been able to sleep a little better, and I've been able to I still have these moments. Like, it's funny, man. I wouldn't call Brandon my apprentice because I actually pay him, but he's been with me since he's 8. He's my son. We got 5 minutes. He's my son's best friend, and now he coaches and trains under me. And he comes from a different generation, right? Like, he sees my anger and my frustration because some of the kids that he grew up with are the ones I refer to that walk right by me in the gym I'm at, that I helped get college scholarship and go train with another yo-yo. And I never charge him. But to your thing, I think what we need to stop being afraid of, because our generation, I don't think, had leaders above us and doing us. Like, the younger guys, I see they're doing a great job. Like Shay, like my young guys, Shay, Nikhil, DeAndre Hunter, all these. They're bringing on the young black fashion designer. They're bringing on the young black, they're lifting each other up.
Right.
We was afraid to work with each other. We looked at each other as competition. We still do. Crabs in the barrel mentality, because we had to fight to get it. We didn't have that. So I think for us, at the end of the day, it's a business, and I want to keep pushing this culture the way we push this, is we can't be afraid to work together. We can't be like, well, he's in Cali now, but like if you got somebody coming to L.A., I got somebody going to New York. And then we get together and we start training people together. Because for me, this is fun. I'm enjoying it again. And I think a lot of it has to do, and I give my man Joe Smith, and I'm not making a plug, but Joe Smith them in Washington has been a blessing. Because it's taken me off the rat race in a sense, because I know every summer I'm going to get a crop of kids. And they do it, to me, the closest to the right way. They're pro players. They're like, if you have a kid, you have a kid. They're bringing you guys. DeAndre Hunter dude was here with me all summer. Shay's AAU coach was here all summer. Jacoby Davis, Pat Williams. AAU, they're not eliminating guys. And we build a mutual respect and like, no, we got him here. Like, what you do is you're going to get him to the next level. But we do it together. Not in the rat race anymore. But I still have passion for the youth in the game. So, man, this is a first step.
I agree.
Second step is, I was telling my manager when she'll be here, is we do weekends where we do this. Then we do a seminar like them other dudes did. And then we followed up with actual camp in the gym. Then we're not afraid to, train each other's guys. And then if you do something, man, I'm going to shout you out. Because that's how, use my platform to give you shine. You use your platform, give me shine, vice versa, because we are pushing the same message. And because at the end of the day, I can't get a phone call from Deion saying, yo, man, you know what I mean? Because it don't feel good, because we need more Deions. We need more owners. We need more Marks.
Right.
man, how can we make this dude happy? Like, let's eat. Cause we, at the end of the day, we still got to eat.
But
I'm with Mark. We still got to eat.
But you know what makes me happy? What man, I love being in the gym with you, and I don't know if you really could see it. Just me sitting back watching you do your thing, and I was
but
like,
that's what we gotta do.
Fucks with dude. Like
That's your love of the game. That's why you're still involved, regardless of at what level you're involved. The game needs us to still be involved. You know what I'm saying? Regardless if we're making money or not. Like, I have an opportunity to totally walk away from the game right now. You know what I'm saying? And be good. You know what I'm saying? With the film industry stuff that I'm about to embark on. But I'm still gonna do this because I love this. And this is easy for me. Like you were saying earlier, guys are sweating to do this stuff. And I'm looking at it, I'm fixing a guy's shot in 1 day.
Right.
I'm fixing a pro player shot in 1 day. In 5 minutes, I'm like, oh, that's easy.
because we see where the flaw is.
Yeah, we know the flow. We know
Like
it.
you think about it.
Because we only got a few minutes. What can we do? Like, I said what he said. So, like, when he do that and he posts it, we all need to repost it.
We gotta post it.
You gotta repost your, because it's about building your business too in New York. Because at the end of the day, we can't have you walk away from the game because you
Right.
ain't paying the bills.
Right.
I'm on Mark's. Like, Mark, just listening to him, doing our tech stuff. I've never, and I'm not saying money hungry. Money hungry is the wrong term. You gotta fucking pay me.
Yeah.
I mean, what? You gotta pay me. I got a couple dudes coming back trying to make league pushes. I know down in the league, but you still got to pay for
Right.
my time.
Right.
My
time is
son.
money.
Yeah. I used to like.
We're
Oh, I
paying
speak-
Speaking of you,
facilities.
you sent me the layout. Cause who did I send it to?
Right.
I sent it to him. I passed it on. It's just
That's what we're
tripping.
supposed to do. Supposed
Yeah,
to share
and,
information.
and like I said,
And what's funny is we text message each other when you have Hami and I have Hami. Like, yo, how do you think about this? What do you about to think about this? That's how it should be.
Right.
That's how we all develop and professionally develop. But I was asking or saying more so, this moves into the camps. This moves into us getting together more often. And
It
then moving
moves
forward.
into and my manager's really good because she's a writer. So that's I'm working on my thing is books. We can write manuals. Like let's get together and whatever the head title and let's fucking do what we say we're gonna do.
I'm with it.
Like I'm in the car cussing y'all out, and I'm sure she was cussing y'all out too. Cause we said 4:00. I'm like, these dudes got me here at 4:30. I hustle here for my kid. This why I won't get opportunities because we doing what black people do.
that's a fact.
We fucking late.
I'm blaming Mark.
We're always
That's Mark.
fucking late.
The
driver.
The driver.
But man,
But you're right.
exit. Oh, go ahead. Finish.
Oh no. That was it. Go ahead.
Yeah, we got to be more professional.
Yep.
We got to be. Don't be afraid to work with each other, build each other up, and not worry about what the others is doing. We can use that for motivation, but I can't use it for the lack of concern. Like why he getting it?
Right.
Because while I'm focused on why he getting, I'm not getting it.
getting
It's
it.
taken away from me not getting it.
And I would also say piggyback is take advantage of the social medias. We have to do it better. And you are wilding right now with your social media because every time one of your kids do something great, you make a flyer on it and it's fire.
Dude, let me tell you something.
Fire.
I learned
I'm
late,
stealing that.
and hold on, I got a kid from Indonesia doing that for me. I said, man, who does it? I saw the tag. It's fucking kid in Indonesia.
So when
I give y'all his name and
I
his
need
IG because I don't want to put his price out there, but it's Peanut. It's for what he does. It's amazing work. It's like, huh?
And his turnaround is crazy because the kid had 20 this night and the flyers out tonight.
Exit name, social media.
Mark Williams of Team Footprints. We just lost our Twitter, but we bring it back. The Footprints group. Yeah, that's basically it, man. That's all I got.
Mark Edwards, so it's M Edwards B-Ball as far as Twitter, and on Instagram it's Visionary38. I don't post much on Instagram, but it is what
trash
it
on
is.
Instagram.
Yeah, sir.
Olin Simplest, IG the God Whisper, Twitter's at O Simplest, YouTube is O Simplest. We need to start a Elite Hoop Heads page too.
Facts.
True.
And we all have access to
It's
it.
our posters.
And we keep posting.
Dion Lee at Legends Training, Instagram and Twitter. Or you can check my AAU program out, Louisville Legends.
There you go.
Appreciate.
Thank you.
I want you for the night, but you been playing. I need you to come do what you been saying. I